I got a couple of things I wanted to touch on here. Well, first, just in case you didn't know, in case you missed it the last time, I dialed it back a little bit on YouTube here. I'm not doing the weekly Writing with James. It's now a monthly Writing with James. Had to do all that because of work. I kind of had to dial it back a little bit, put a little more time into my business and a little less time into YouTube. And it seems like I say this every time I make some changes, but I think this is actually the one. This seems to be working out really well. This is a lot more relaxed, and this was a good move anyway. But did have a couple of things I wanted to touch on here. On a personal note, had something pretty cool happen here a while back. I guess technically this is a shout out, but let me just show you this real quick clip here.
Okay, here's a good one. Do you use anything for protection when you go somewhere to investigate? That's from A View to the Middle is the name. A View from the Middle.
There you go. That was Grant Wilson from Ghost Hunters, who has his own YouTube channel now. Actually said my channel name, sort of, eventually. And it's one of those, I know it was a Q&A thing on his channel, and I think at that particular moment I was just one of the few that wasn't asking something really stupid, so he answered my question on his video and actually said my channel name, and thought that was pretty neat. I'm a Grant Wilson fan, like always a big Ghost Hunters fan, so that's right up there with Graveyard Girl hearting one of my comments one time. I still put Graveyard Girl maybe a little bit higher because the comment was about poop. But other than that, and that kind of gave me an idea for this channel before I get into the meat of this one. For a later Writing with James, if anybody has any questions that you want to ask me.
Technically a Q&A?
That's right, Grant, a Q&A. If you want to know anything about me, about the channel, about any of the videos, just leave a comment in the comment section, and maybe the next time, maybe the time after that, sometime down the road anyway, I'll try to make it for next month, just do a little Q&A thing. I've been on for a little over a year, and I really haven't done that, so if there's anything you want to know, just go ahead and throw it out. But for the main topic I wanted to talk about, I had something else that was a little lighter, but this came up, and I'll talk about that later on. But I kind of wanted to strike while the iron was still relatively warm on this particular topic. If you are a gamer or follow online games at all, or you may have caught wind of this anyway, Telltale Games shut down. They just pulled the plug, just out of the blue, pulled the plug on their business, laid a whole lot of people off. First, if you're not familiar with Telltale Games, if you've seen the Walking Dead games featuring Clementine, which I think you can get them online. You can get them online through the Telltale site. You could also get them through Steam. You could get them. Of course, they have a version on Xbox and stuff like that. They also did A Wolf Among Us, which was a really cool game. And they had a few others. But The Walking Dead was that's the one that put them over the top. That's the one that drew the most attention to them. And it was a big deal to get the license to do Walking Dead games and working directly with the Walking Dead people. And of course, it was within the same universe, but the games had nothing to do with the TV show. They did not, for the most part. I think the first season was really good. They would come out with different seasons. The first season was centered on you played a character named Lee, and you do meet briefly Glenn. You do run into Herschel, but other than that, you don't really run into characters that are from the TV show. There is a character named Lily Call, which is actually a completely different character than the Lily from the comic book. But anyway, it was a big deal, and they came out with a season. Season 1 was great, very interactive. It was a different kind of video game. The decisions you made actually tailored the way the game went. I don't know if I can describe that well enough for people that don't play the game or have never played the game to understand it, but They had season 1, season 2 came out. Season 2 really, the gameplay wasn't that great. It seemed to lack imagination as far as the interaction. The story was still okay, but what you actually did as a player just seemed to lack a lot. But it was still a big deal, sold really well. It led to what they were going to make their final season of The Walking Dead as far as the games go. Yeah, they announced that was it. They were shutting down. And I'm getting conflicting reports. One that says they are keeping a skeletal crew on hand to finish out this last season of The Walking Dead, and then after that's released, they're shutting things down. But there are other people, including people that actually worked for Telltale, that are saying, no, that's not true. They laid everybody off. There might be a handful of people there to tie up some loose ends, but that's it. And if that's true, then that means they're not going to finish the season, which basically means all these people that, through their website you can buy a season pass. And that means every time a new episode comes out, you go and you download it. You don't have to pay for every episode as it comes out. So all those people, if that's the case, and I don't know which is true, if that's the case, all these people that bought season passes are basically getting screwed. They've got to be getting their money back. There's got to be some kind of kickback from... surely they had some kind of agreement with The Walking Dead and with Xbox and all this that they would finish the thing out. So I don't know, it just sounds like a mess. Either way, it sucks. But basically what happened is it was a small company that exploded, got too big, too fast, hired too many people, and just ended up spending more money than they were bringing in, and it killed them. And the thing about that is, I look at that, and it made me think of a conversation I was having with Rich from the Seal One when they came down for a visit, and we were talking about, I was saying I was kind of running out of room on my computer, and said what I would do is I would finish a video, and I would upload it, and I would keep the finished product for a while, but then after a while I'd go ahead and delete the finished video off my computer, but I kept all my raw footage. And he said, well, I do the opposite. I keep the finished product, but then I delete my raw footage. And I said, well, I thought about that, but it's already online. It's on YouTube. And he said, yeah, but what happens down the road if YouTube shuts down? Maybe you can't be too big to completely shut down. What if that happens with YouTube? What if we wake up in a week and they've said, nope, that's it. We're going to have to pull the plug. We're done. What if it happens that quick, just like it did with Telltale Games? And frankly, from what I've heard, YouTube isn't exactly making a ton of money. Seems like they've kind of got to that point where didn't really manage it well. And with some of the decisions that they're making now with the smaller creators, what they don't seem to understand is where is that next group of big YouTubers going to come from if you're constantly putting your foot down on the smaller YouTubers and making it hard on us. And it's not just people down here with me on the very bottom of YouTube. It's people that have some numbers that some of us would envy. People that have like 100,000 subscribers and are kind of on the, so they're not huge YouTubers. They don't make enough to make it a full-time job. They're not Graveyard Girl. They're not PewDiePie. They're not one of the Logans. But they're bigger than us, but they're not huge. They're feeling some of the effects too. So it does make me wonder, can that same thing happen with YouTube? So I think what I'm going to do, starting pretty quick, I'm going to start trying to, I got this thing where I can download my own videos I may start going back and getting my completed videos and start doing it more like the way Rich does it. Go ahead and keep my completed videos, but then delete my raw footage. But like I say, it just makes me wonder if the best thing that could happen to Dailymotion is for YouTube to completely shut down. Because that's one thing you can say about Dailymotion. Dailymotion doesn't seem to be in a position where they have outgrown themselves. Well, sorry for that downer. I'm not trying to just, didn't mean to make this a negative Nancy video, but want to put it out there just in case people have kind of been thinking the same thing. You might want to protect yourself as far as the videos that you have created. don't rely too much on YouTube being there tomorrow, because the same thing could happen to them that happened to Telltale. To close it out, I'm going to show you a little an outtake, bonus footage, whatever you want to call it, from the abandoned nursing home, sanitarium, whatever you want to call it, in Oklahoma City. It's a fun little clip when I stepped out on a little balcony. But all right, well, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, now I can confirm that. Julie and Maddie and the folks with a little bit of this, a little bit of that, were looking for poop spray earlier today. So. There we go. Follow Alexis Nicole on Twitter.